What's going on, everybody? This is your SmackDown review for October 27th, 2023. My name is Alex, and I thought SmackDown, not the best show, but definitely had some good moments. But again, I feel like it's one of those episodes where it's mostly just filler. I don't know if filler is the right word I'm trying to think of, but um yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this episode. It's definitely been better. There's definitely been better SmackDowns in recent months. In fact, SmackDown has been the best WWE show that they put out weekly, a week to week basis. Way better than Raw. And I don't even watch NXT. So take what you wish. So SmackDown opened up with the contract signing between Roman Reigns and LA Knight for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Roman comes out, and it's so funny because I've never I don't think this has ever happened before. But when Roman's making his entrance, LA Knight completely just cuts him off, has his entrance, while Roman is like halfway down the ramp, just walks by him to the ring, completely ignores him, doesn't even look at him, and does his entrance. And Roman, you can see Roman is just like chuckling, getting upstaged, and I'm gonna get back to this in just a second. So this contract signing, right? I feel like I know a lot of people don't think that LA Knight is winning the title, right? But here's the thing. WWE has been building up Roman, right? Past 3.5 years. This guy hasn't been pinned in 4 years. And the perfect opportunity for Roman to drop the title is to somebody who has built themselves organically, gotten themselves over organically, can have the people. I mean, the way that LA Knight has ascended into the company. I've been a big LA Knight fan all the way back to his Eli Drake days. This guy, LA Knight, is exactly who the company has been waiting for somebody to take the title off of Roman. To, to completely make a, is a good term, mega star. This is exactly what WWE has been waiting for. Now, look, if you look at all the people Roman's beat in his championship run, right? He beat Kevin Owens like 5 times. He's beaten guys like Finn Balor, Daniel Bryan, Edge, Cody. I know a lot of people thought the title would switch with Cody, but to me, Cody was already a made man, pretty much, in my opinion, at least. You know, did his thing in AEW, got super over, and then the fans got tired of what Cody was doing, and I'm not sure if that's on Cody's fault or Tony's fault. And he came over to WWE, and he's like a god to these people. So Cody doesn't necessarily need to have a champion WWE championship to really put him over because Cody's already there. Now, you could argue the same for LA Knight because LA Knight gets the biggest reactions. He has the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand. LA Knight could drop kick a child and the whole arena would explode. But the difference is Cody had already did everything he could. And LA Knight, yeah, I know a lot of people say, well, he's 40 years old. So what? If they can put the title on a 50-something-year-old Goldberg, there is no reason why they can't put the title on LA Knight. And I think that's going to happen. I generally think LA Knight is going to beat Roman because Roman's not advertised for Survivor Series, apparently. So why have Roman off the show on one of your big what do they call it? Power 5 pay-per-views, right? Rumble, Mania, Money in the Bank, Survivor Series. I feel like I'm missing one. But SummerSlam. So that is odd to me for him not to be on Survivor Series. But also, going back to the people that Roman's beat, none of those people in any of those feuds have kind of just like one-sided the feud. It's always been Roman that's one-sided the feud. No one thought any of those guys would beat Roman except for maybe Cody. I know a lot of people wanted Cody to win that title. But to me, Cody doesn't need it. And in this feud, now granted, this feud hasn't been all that too long. It's only been what? I think this is the 3rd week of this feud between LA Knight and Roman. And LA Knight has absolutely decimated and dominated Roman in these segments. He absolutely cooks him every time. This is the 3rd straight week in a row where it seems like LA Knight is just completely owning this feud between him and Roman. Roman really hasn't done anything in this feud to make me want Roman to win. It literally just, he hasn't done anything in this feud besides to be all nonchalant about everything about it. While LA Knight is literally taking the ball and running with it. He's cooking Roman in these promos. And the John Cena rub 2 weeks ago, I don't think LA Knight necessarily needed that, but it was a nice plus. I don't hate it. It was a nice plus for Cena to do that. So I think we got one more SmackDown left before Crown Jewel. And Roman hasn't really done anything in this feud. It's been all LA Knight. When have we said that about anybody else that Roman has feuded with for this championship? Nobody. So, and I honestly can't see anybody else taking this championship off Roman besides LA Knight. I mean, when was the last time somebody got over like this organically on their own without having everything behind them, politics and all that, etc.? It's probably Daniel Bryan? Yes movement? So this is exactly what WWE has been looking for, to build up somebody like this to take the title off Roman. Now, the only problem I do have with LA Knight winning is that it's in Saudi Arabia. Now I understand the crowd in Saudi Arabia, they love LA Knight. If you go back to the other Saudi Arabia show they ran, I think it was earlier this year. Was it? I can't remember, but they ran a show in Saudi Arabia earlier this year. And during the press conference, before even the press conference started, that Saudi crowd was chanting for LA Knight. Now, this was before WrestleMania. This was like right before LA Knight was getting hot. That Saudi Arabia crowd pretty much sought it into existence. You know, so if he does win it in Saudi Arabia, I think that'd be pretty cool because those LA Knight chants at that press conference really kind of boosted LA Knight for real. Now, would they do a? Now, this is the problem I have with it being in Saudi Arabia because I don't think WWE would pull a trigger on a match like this in Saudi Arabia. Now, I know some people are going to bring up Goldberg and Bray Wyatt, right? They thought because if Goldberg beat Bray Wyatt in Saudi Arabia, the crowd reaction would be different because they knew if they had Goldberg beat Bray Wyatt in America for that title, that building would have been like Hell in a Cell, 2018 Hell in a Cell, right? Was it 2018 Hell in a Cell? Or whatever the Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt Hell in a Cell match was. That's what the building was going to be like if they did Goldberg and Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, in fucking America. So, who knows? This contract signing kicked ass. LA Knight, once again, owned Roman in this segment. LA Knight is 3-0 in segments with Roman Reigns. Now, I will say that that table flip Roman did at the end was pretty fucking hilarious because he flipped that fucking table completely up and he had to move it out the way so he can start kicking LA Knight's ass. But I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm glad that LA Knight is bringing in the Fact of Life and the Kavorka and the Tingle in Your Loins. I know he's been doing that, sprinkling it in every now and then, but I'm glad he's starting to do it on a consistent basis now because this is so funny to me because LA Knight is exactly how he was as Eli Drake in TNA. This is the exact same character that he was doing in TNA, and it translated over to WWE like it was nothing. So I do find that very, very interesting. The only thing that's missing is the dummy. That's the only thing that's missing from. That's the only difference between LA Knight and Eli Drake. LA Knight eventually puts Jimmy Uso through a table to close out the segment to set up a match between Jimmy and LA Knight to main event the show. Next up, we had Carlito and Santos Escobar of the LWO versus the Street Profits. This match was not good. And I feel like the Street Profits, ever since joining up with Bobby Lashley, have fallen off a cliff, in my opinion. I don't think it looks good right on screen, but you look at what the Street Profits were doing before this, right? The most popular tag team. The interactions with the crowd, the promos, the matches they were having. And ever since they joined the single with Bobby Lashley, they're barely on TV. They look like flunkies behind Bobby Lashley. They lose. I think they've lost more than they've won. And it just looks it's just odd to me to see them being presented this way. Now, in theory, like I said, they do look good together. Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, but you take a team as popular as the Street Profits were and how over they are just to turn them into Bobby Lashley's flunkies. I don't know. I don't know. See, the difference is with the Hurt Business is when you had Bobby, Shelton, Cedric, and MVP is because Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander were never top. They were like never a top tag team. Yeah, they had the Raw tag titles, but they only held those for a cup of coffee. So you can take get guys like Cedric and Shelton, and then make them look like flunkies to Bobby Lashley because they, fortunately, and I love Cedric and I love Shelton. I hope Shelton gets employed somewhere, and we'll get to Cedric later. But again, you take a team like the caliber of the Street Profits, probably the only bright in the tag team division over the years recently in WWE, and their background characters to Bobby Lashley, and I'm just not digging it. Now it hasn't even been that long, so I'm 1000% interested to see where it goes, if it gets better, or the direction they go in the future. So I'm optimistic, and I gotta wait to see how it plays out. But right now, it's not working. Dawkins did pin Santos to win the match, so that's a plus. The Street Profits won. Next, we had a Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso backstage segment. No, Jimmy Uso is saying he's on the injured reserve list, and then Roman's like, "What?" And then he's like, "Oh, I'm good. I can go. I can go." That's pretty much it for that segment. Next we had Logan Paul, Kathy Kelly backstage segment, which really wasn't even a segment because Logan grabbed the microphone, talking about Rey Mysterio, and gave it back and kept on walking until he ran into Kevin Owens, who was wearing a Rey Mysterio shirt. And Logan Paul said, "Hey, nice shirt." Just kept on walking. And then the camera pans to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. And Kevin Owens says, "I could punch you both at the same time." And Theory and Waller were just like, "Oh, I think we're stupid. We're just going to stand side by side and just get punched in the face." And then they ended up being punched in the face. I thought this was dumb. I don't know what in the world they have got going on for Kevin Owens and or Sami Zayn. You know, this whole thing they built up for Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania was perfect. And they won the tag titles, and they haven't done anything. Honestly. And it's just mind-blowing to me because what they did to build up to WrestleMania, all those months with the bloodline and stuff, heck, even years, because Kevin Owens wrestled Roman for the title like 5 times. But yeah, just to see how something just never worked out with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens being the tag team champ. What a terrible run they had. And then they just split them up. They put Kevin on SmackDown and Sami stays on Raw. Not only to mention the bloodline, but Raw got Jey Uso. So I don't really understand. They haven't even really explained why Nick Aldis chose Kevin Owens. But anyways, I digress. Kevin Owens does end up knocking out Waller and Theory to prove a point to backstage producer Jamie Noble. Yeah, gosh, what are they gonna do with Kevin Owens? Next up, we had a backstage segment between Cedric Alexander and Dragon Lee, basically to set up the match later on tonight. Then we had Shotzi Blackheart and Chelsea Green in a 3-minute roll up win or backslide or whatever. This match was 3 minutes. It was not good. I do like Shotzi's look. It's different. It's unique. Fits her. Now, from what I understood in the video package, this match happened because of something went down during the NXT Halloween Havoc show last week. So that's why we got this match, and it was only 3 minutes. What the fuck? I like Chelsea Green a lot. She's doing great work. She can be good in the ring. I loved a lot of the stuff she did with Impact, and enjoying a lot of stuff that she's doing now. But if you're just gonna have a 3-minute women's match to follow up on something that happened on NXT, why even do it on SmackDown? Could have just did it on NXT. Anyways, then we had another great talking segment between John Cena and Paul Heyman. You know, Cena's just talking about that he feels like he's in jeopardy of losing the fans, and Heyman comes out, and it's just that Roman and Solo should wrestle at Crown Jewel. Cena accepts. Bam, there we go. Cena, Solo, Sikoa at Crown Jewel. That match I'm excited for because one of the greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view matches of all time. That John Cena Umaga, I can't remember the name of it, but it was a no DQ match of some sort, and that match was fucking awesome. So to see Solo wrestling John Cena in today's age, it's pretty cool to see. Now I don't know if that means Solo's gonna win. I don't think you should have Solo win right now, but it also wouldn't hurt. So yeah, that was that segment. Really good talking segment. Paul Heyman's great as usual. John Cena's great as usual. And a sneak attack from behind by Solo Sikoa to elevate the match for next week. And I know people are probably going to say this match has no build, blah, 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 blah. It's not true. Simply not true. Go back and watch the shows. Not that hard. Next, we had a LA Knight backstage promo. Very Attitude Era type vibe to that promo that LA Knight cut. Or maybe it's just a me thing. I don't know. But to me, it felt like a lot of Attitude Era-esque to it. Next, we had Dragon Lee, Cedric Alexander. Now, this match, again, this match did not have a lot of time to it, but it was good for the amount of time they had. That's all you can ask for in an 8-minute TV match. Cedric, gosh, man. I did not know that his hair grew out, because when was the last time we fucking seen Cedric Alexander on TV anywhere? You know, when I saw him come out to the ring, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And this is Cedric Alexander. I was like, this motherfucker got dreads now? Man. But, anyways. Dragon Lee did win the match. It was like a 6 to 8 minute match. He hit the Destino by Tetsuya Naito. Because Dragon Lee used to be a part of LFI, which is a branch off version of LIJ in New Japan. So it's pretty cool to see him pay homage to Tetsuya Naito. I wouldn't mind if they do run this back and they get more time, because I think they could absolutely put on a banger. But for what it was, I do think this was match of the night for SmackDown. Now let's keep it going. Bianca Belair come out for a promo about how she's angry, and then she showed footage of 2 months ago about being attacked by Damage Control, and she's tired of the shit. She's done with it. She wants a rematch for the WWE Women's World Championship at Crown Jewel. We'll see what happens, man. You know, this SmackDown Women's division is, I don't want to say it's bad, because there are some great women on the SmackDown roster, but it sucks the life out of you when you see the same 4 to 5 women's wrestlers every week. Gosh. Now, I 1000% agree with what Bianca is saying, but to me, it's just like it's the same women over and over again. Yeah, they'll show some women in backstage segments, etc., etc. But as far as being out there in the ring with meaningful storylines, meaningful segments on the show, it's the same people. It's Bianca, Charlotte, it's Asuka, and it's Damage Control. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You know? It's like, why even have a women's roster? You're gonna use the same 6 women for like the past 6+ months. I mean, this was going back past SummerSlam. It was the same revolving women. And I think Io Sky's run right now as champion is not that good, because the attention isn't around Io. It's around Charlotte. It's around Bianca. It's around the story plot between Bianca and, I mean, not Bianca, Io and Bailey, because Io at one point was like, I think you should stop interfering in matches. Obviously, that did not happen because Bailey continued to interfere in her matches, and then Io was just like, oh, okay, well, thanks, man. Thanks for helping me out here, I guess. But, gosh, Charlotte's had like 5 opportunities. Charlotte's had like 5 championship matches against Io already. It's sickening and disgusting. How hard is it to have proper build on your week to week television leading up to a PLE, instead of just giving out random TV championship matches? You know, because now every time Charlotte gets a championship match, everybody's just like, oh, Charlotte's gonna win the title. Charlotte's gonna win the title. And I don't blame people for thinking that way, because it's repetitive, it's annoying, it's stale. You gotta do what you gotta do. At this point, I feel bad for Io, because every time she wrestles, the attention is not around Io, it's around Bailey and whoever else is at ringside. So I don't know. I I wish we could find somebody, and I know Io is pretty decent at English, but I think it's just time to get rid of Damage Control. Do something else. There are other women that you can build up to get proper TV segment time, instead of revolving around Asuka, Charlotte, Bianca, and the rest of Damage Control. It's not a good look. Anyways, Bianca announces that she will invoke her rematch clause at Crown Jewel next week. So we will be getting Bianca versus Io for the WWE Women's World Champion. Main event time here on this edition of SmackDown. Jimmy Uso, the Bloodline versus LA Knight. Yeah. Match was fine, nothing to complain about. There was nothing extraordinary, great. It's a very good match to end the show on to send the crowd home happy type main event. LA Knight won, of course, because why be LA Knight here? Beats me. But he does get the win over Jimmy Uso. And LA Knight this time saw it coming from a mile away, counters it, hits him with the blunt force trauma, and Roman's out on the count. So, positive sign, yeah. Negative sign, eh. Like I said earlier, LA Knight has been absolutely dominating and owning all these promos he's involved with ever since his Roman feud became a thing. So, I'm happy for that. But yeah, that was SmackDown. That was a review for the show. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. See daily wrestling reviews across all the boards, including Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, Impact, soon to be TNA Impact, and premier live events slash pay-per-views within other companies. But yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video.